when you get home and your mom goes to bed at 9, where are you and what are you doing in the house? Are you in the house?
I was in my room already planning everything.
You were in your bedroom or in the room where the fire was started?
The room where the fire was started.
What do you call that room?
What do you call it? Game room.
Game room? So you're in the game room planning everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how long does it take you to plan that?
Only a few minutes, but I waited for several hours to make sure everybody in the house was asleep.
How did you make sure they were asleep?
I just waited and then checked on them.
Just checked on them? Opened the door and looked at them?
Yes, sir. I killed her at around 11 p.m., I think. And I think she went to sleep at around 9 o'clock. Okay.
This is Zachary Davis, who is 15 years old. He's been asked questions because there was a fire at his house. At first, it seemed like a sad accident, but then they found a body in the house. What's even scarier is that Zachary's mum didn't die in the fire, but someone hurt her with a sledgehammer before the fire began. Soon you'll see Zachary break down, but it won't be how you'd expect.
It looks kind of evil when you do that, I'm gonna have to say. I think you know you're doing it.
In this video, Zachary is really honest when he talks about his crime, but what's surprising is why he did it. The police are trying to figure out if the story is true or if he made it up. It all started on August the 10th, 2012, when there was a house fire in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Firefighters found Melanie Davis in her burning house. She was in her bed, covered in blood and seriously hurt. Melanie was a single mum with 2 teenage boys. She worked as a paralegal and was a triathlete. One of her sons, Joshua, who was 17 years old, was there with the police, but Zachary, the younger brother, was missing. 4 hours later, the police found Zachary about 5 miles from their home, trying to leave town. They took him to Sumner County Sheriff's Office for questioning. The video of this interview is just the beginning of a really disturbing case. There are some shocking accusations and a lot of twisted lies involved.
This is the Sheriff's Office, and what we'd like to do is talk to you about something happened at your house, and that's what we kind of like to talk to you about your house. You've probably seen some cop shows and stuff, right? You've seen police shows and things like that. You do have rights and stuff, and so before asking questions, you must understand your rights. You want to go ahead and talk to us about what happened tonight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you do, just exactly what I want to do is make sure you understand that this is a waiver, right? Saying you're waiving your rights. So I'd like to do is make sure you can read and write. If you would, read that last paragraph out loud.
I've read the statement of my rights and understand what my rights are.
He said he was giving up his rights, and then the interview started.
So, no trouble in school, nothing like that?
No, sir.
Zachary's a bit different, you see. One thing that stands out is how he doesn't show his feelings. He talks in a kind of boring way, and his face doesn't change much. This can mean a few things. He might be keeping his emotions hidden on purpose, or maybe he has trouble showing emotions because of something like schizophrenia or autism. Even though he doesn't say much about himself, the investigators are looking into his family and talking to him about his past to make him feel more at ease with them.
I understand that your father had passed away.
Yes, sir.
How did he pass away?
He died from Garrett's disease.
Pretty rough on you, wasn't it?
No, sir.
Didn't bother you?
No, sir.
I was told that it bothered you. That you were upset about your dad. Is that not true?
No, sir.
So it is true?
No, sir.
Back in 2007, the Davis family went through a tough time. It was the first of many challenges they would face. The 2 boys lost their dad, Chris, to a disease called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease. Losing a parent is hard for any child, but for Zachary, it hit him even harder. Despite his attempts to hide it, his dad's death affected him deeply, and the consequences would become clear in the years to come. According to the family, Zachary was already a quiet kid, but when his dad passed away, he became even more withdrawn. After this sad event, the family, which now consisted of only Melanie and her 2 sons, moved to Summer County. They hoped this move would bring a fresh start, but things didn't get better. By the time Zachary was 11, he began showing unusual behavior. It's not entirely clear what this behavior was, but it worried Melanie enough to seek medical help for her son. Zachary was diagnosed with a depressive disorder, but that was just the start. He also told doctors that he heard voices, including his deceased father's voice. As a result, he was diagnosed with psychosis. However, at some point, his mother stopped his mental health treatment, and it is unclear why she did that. Psychosis itself isn't a clinical disorder. It's a symptom often linked to the beginning of schizophrenia. Schizophrenia in children is very rare, but still possible. Other reasons for hearing voices in childhood could be things like depression, anxiety disorder, or going through a traumatic event, like losing a parent. Even Zachary told investigators he wasn't seeking help. His phone calendar showed that he had at least one meeting with the school counselor, Miss Hicks. This suggested that someone might have realized something was wrong, although no one could have known just how disturbed he was.
Something went on at your house today, and I just kind of like you to kind of tell us what happened.
I killed my mom in her sleep with a sledgehammer.
Is there a reason why you did that?
Yes, sir.
Well, can you tell me why?
Yes, sir.
You can't tell me why?
Yes, sir.
Is it a reason you don't know why you did it, or you just don't want to tell?
I do know why I did it. Just nothing to tell.
Okay. You do know why you did it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you set the house on fire too?
I tried to. I don't know if it actually got the whole house on fire now.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, it did. I mean, a little bit, I think, but not bad or anything. Have you been having problems with your mom?
No, sir.
Unlike most crimes, it's very obvious that Zachary is the killer. He openly admits that he killed his mother, but this story might change later. Eerily, they found text messages between Zachary and his mum that suggested they had a seemingly normal and loving relationship. In one message, Zachary wrote to his mother saying, "Sorry, I was asleep," with a heart emoji. There's another message from Melanie to Zachary that says, "Love you. I tried to talk to you before we left, but your door was locked." From these texts, it seems like the family was perfectly normal, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The message from the day before he killed his mum, showing them planning to go to a movie. Melanie first wrote, "Hey sweetie, I just took Josh to the orthodontist. We'll be back hopefully soon. Then later we can see Born or Campaign today. I want to see both, and they sound good. Josh is back in, but we may need to pick him up at Ryan's house." The last message she sends before her death is to Zachary and reads, "Okay," with a heart. It's clear that Melanie had no idea what Zachary was planning, or that she would meet such a horrific end just hours after attending a movie with her 2 sons. Zachary's brother Josh has also been brought to the police station to speak with the police. He was asked to talk about his day before the fire was set. He told them that he had gone to the orthodontist with his mother before returning home. His answer also reveals a bit about his relationship with his brother.
What's Zach doing when you get home?
I think she's playing Xbox. We kind of keep to ourselves, I guess.
Okay, so you and Zach don't have a good relationship?
Well, no, we do. It's just like I don't know, like he just kind of, stays to himself. He's kind of a quiet.
Josh doesn't want to talk much about his brother Zachary, but the way he's describing Zachary as quiet and odd makes it seem like Zachary might have had some mental health problems. What's even weirder is that Josh doesn't seem very worried, even though something terrible just happened to his mum. Most people would be really upset and trying to figure out why Zachary did such a horrible thing, but maybe Josh is just in shock because it all happened not too long ago.
What kind of person is your brother?
Your typical male teenager.
Typical male teenager. You two get along pretty good?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Even though they said otherwise, the texts between the brothers show that they message each other a lot. They talked about their school year being delayed, played video games, and Zachary wanted to spend his birthday alone with Josh. He even said that he could tell their friend Ryan not to come over if Josh didn't want him there. Zachary wanted Josh to have a birthday that made him happy. In one recent message, Josh even said sorry for arguing with Zachary. They often use heart emojis and frequently said "I love you" to each other. Looking from the outside, it's hard to believe something so terrible happened in this family, but that's mainly because Zachary hasn't told investigators why he did it. Zachary, who didn't have many friends outside his family, left a note on his phone dated March the 29th, 2012, mentioning his close relationship with his teacher, Mr. Voss. In the note, Zachary expressed concern that Mr. Voss might dislike him based on their recent encounter at school. He hoped to repair their friendship before leaving Tennessee because Mr. Voss was the only person who genuinely cared about him, almost like a father figure. Zachary was uncertain about what caused the strain in their relationship, but wished for forgiveness. This note revealed a more emotional and caring side of Zachary compared to the emotionally detached teen in an interview. It also hinted at his loneliness and difficulty connecting with peers his age. Additionally, Josh, during the interview, mentioned that the family went straight home after the movie ended around 8 p.m. Surprisingly, Zachary didn't act any different from his usual self just before he killed his mum. We would expect to see some changes in his behavior, like being more aggressive. The way he hurt his mum and went through with killing her is what people do when they've had a breakdown. Josh remembers going to talk to his mum a few hours before Zachary killed her.
When you get home and your mom goes to bed at 9, where are you and what are you doing in the house? Are you in the house?
I was in my room already planning everything.
You were in your bedroom or in the room where the fire was started?
The room where the fire was started.
What do you call that room?
What do you call it? Game room.
Game room? So you're in the game room planning everything?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how long does it take you to plan that?
Probably a few minutes, but I waited for several hours to make sure everybody in the house was asleep.
How did you make sure they were asleep?
I just waited and then checked on them.
Just checked on them? Opened the door and looked at them?
Yes, sir. I killed her at around 11 p.m., I think. And I think she went to sleep at around 9 o'clock.
Okay. When you killed her, what about your brother lives there with you too, right? That's the only person who lives with you?
Yes, sir.
Did you do anything to him?
No, sir. I was kind of expecting the fire to kill him.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yep, Zachary didn't only start the fire to hide the proof of him harming his mum, he also wanted his brother to get hurt by the fire, so Melanie would be gone too. After he hit her with a sledgehammer, Zachary locked the door to stop Josh from going in and maybe saving her.
I woke up around, I'm not sure what time the thing was going off. And, at first I didn't know what it was. I thought it was like a sound in my room. Then I figured out it was a fire alarm. I was running around and I was looking for my brother upstairs in his room. He wasn't in there and I saw the fire was started in there. So I ran down the stairs to get my mom and the door was locked. So I had to kick the door in to get in there. And then I saw her on the bed.
What did you do then?
I just went outside the house and called 911 and went and got my neighbors and my child.
Where'd you get the sledgehammer at?
From my garage.
Okay, and what about, how did you try and set the fire?
I First, I tried to drag the lawnmower upstairs and empty the fuel tank in the room, but I couldn't do that, so I just poured a bottle of whiskey on the floor and left it on fire.
A bottle of whiskey?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was that before or after you hit your mom?
After.
After, okay. How many times did you hit her with the sledgehammer?
I don't know.
I mean, any estimation?
I'd say at least 12.
12 times. Where did you hit her at on her body?
Around the head area.
Okay, was she sleeping at the time, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did she wake up and say anything to you?
No, sir. I put my fingers on her neck to check her pulse and make sure she was dead.
Did you touch her anywhere else?
No, sir.
Have you thought about touching her anywhere else?
No, sir.
He didn't want to say if his mum was good or bad, and he seemed like he didn't care much about his relationship with her. This might mean he couldn't connect with her or with anyone else. He answered a lot of the investigators' questions, but when they asked why he did something, he didn't want to spill the beans. They were trying to get all the info they could from him. Scarily, right after he killed his mum and ran away from his house, Zachary went to a store to buy a Pepsi. Then he started walking, trying to get away from the police. Even though he had a detailed plan, it seemed like he didn't think about what to do next. People online who say they live in Summer County have been talking about this. They say that after he set the fire, Zachary ran for nearly 5 miles without any clear destination. Zachary might have thought he could be tough and strong by learning from killers and trying to be like them. Maybe he believed he could not only be a killer, but also a smarter one by avoiding the mistakes he had made. But Zachary's plan fell apart in other ways too, like when the investigators found an abandoned knife at the scene. Zachary had savagely attacked his mother while she slept.
What did you do with the sledgehammer after you hit her with it?
I just laid it in the laundry room.
Why did you hit her about 12 times with it? Why so many times?
To make sure she was dead.
The cop wanted to know why Zachary killed his mum so brutally. He asked Zachary to tell him what he did before the attack. While Zachary was talking, the detectives heard something strange. Zachary said he started his day by reading a book called Misery by Stephen King. But here's the twist. In the book Misery, the main character uses an axe, while in the movie version, she uses a sledgehammer.
So you can rewind the clock and go back. What would you do?
I might kill Josh with a sledgehammer too.
When Josh came in for a second interview, the detectives asked him about something that happened at school. This made it clear that the two brothers had very different views about their relationship.
Do you still want to kill Josh?
Yes.
And you're not going to tell me why?
No, sir.
I'm really curious as to why. I mean, you said that he was the only confidant you had. You didn't talk to anybody else. Why would you want to get rid of the only person that you confide in and talk to?
I don't know.
Well, you said you don't want to tell me, so you do know. There's a difference in wanting to tell me and not knowing. You just told me you did want to tell me, so you do know why you want to kill your brother and you killed your mother. I would just like for you to share that with me.
I'd rather not, sir.
But you will admit that you know why you did it.
Yes, sir.
The detective is trying to understand why Zachary killed his mum so brutally. But there's no clear reason. While the detective keeps asking questions, Zachary suddenly accuses a family member of hurting him a long time ago. Nobody's ever proved this, and there's no proof to support Zachary's claims. The detectives found a notebook at the house that somehow didn't burn in the fire. Inside, they discovered 2 notes written by Zachary. In one, he mentioned ripping something that day, and in the other, he confessed to killing his mother. He said that he didn't feel any remorse. His only regret was not making her death quicker because he didn't want her to suffer. It's possible that Zachary's belief of being attacked was a delusion. People with schizophrenia can have these strong, unfounded beliefs called delusions. The cop had one more question for Zachary, and this one made him react very strongly, which was surprising, but Zachary's answer was quite unexpected for someone in his situation.
Do you always look at people through your eyebrows? You've been doing it all morning. Do you do that? Is that a habit, or is that something that you're just starting to do?
I guess it's a habit. I've never really noticed.
You never really noticed?
No, sir.
Nobody's ever said anything to you about it?
No, sir.
Why'd you giggle?
It's
I mean, you don't know that you do that right there?
no, sir.
Okay. I'm not picking on you, I'm just... It looks kind of evil when you do that, I'm gonna have to say. I think you know you're doing it. And you're smiling about it, so I think you're pretty aware of what you're doing.
No, I didn't realize I was doing it.
Yeah, you did.
Zachary had a fascination with crime and killers. Some experts thought he was mentally ill when he killed his mother. He told different stories about the murder, blaming his brother at one point. In the end, he was convicted of murder and other crimes and was sentenced to a long time in prison. People wondered if he wanted to be a serial killer. We hope you found this story as fascinating as we did. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.